Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for joining us. Today is Monday, 7th of August, 2017. It's the weekly youth group webinar. As always, any questions or ideas and problems, please feel free to raise your hand. We'll open the mics up. We'll work through any problems you might have. Okay, a quick update on the templates. There is a set of updates currently in progress as we speak. They are CodeJock version 18, well actually 18.01. 18.00 didn't seem to see the light of day. So the official release, the beta, was 18.00, and CodeJock have released it. I think it was possibly about 10 days ago now, and it's 18.01. So I'm glad to report all of the templates have passed testing, but I am just doing so for 18 compatibility. I've noticed one particular, I won't say issue, but definitely a change, and it's the quality of the icons with the new build. Previously, they seemed. Imagine you had an application where you didn't create the manifest correctly. Then basically the icons could look a bit blockish and a bit jagged edges, whereas when you've got a proper manifest, then the icons look very good on the shortcut bars, the task panels, the command bars, that type of thing. With the 18, I'm not sure if they've changed a particular setting or we now have to add another setting, so just going to check that. So there is a slight difference there. I'll look into that prior to release, but as for the actual compatibility, that's done. The reg-free com is all fine, and the manifests are generated accordingly. I also took the opportunity to take a look at some of the new styles which they've now released, and it made me review the style settings for our current products as well. Now, just let me open, say, could be any of these, but you can see all the compatibility tests there. But currently, when you go into the global extension, you can select your version and so on, and you can say that you're running a particular style. So let's say it's Office 2013, and it would be external, and then you can type in the name of the actual part of the style DLL. So for those who are new to this or don't understand how CodeJock released them, in previous versions, a long time ago, the actual colors and themes were built into the actual control themselves. Then they started shipping them back in 2007. They started shipping them as external style files. Office 2010 definitely went down that route, and so on. And you can see here, I selected 2013. It's filled in the resource file name for us because we know that. But then within that actual file, there are different sections, and they refer to them as ini, a bit like an ini file, if you will, but these are just raw parts of the actual DLL file themselves. To make things a lot easier for you, rather than you type this in, the change I'm just putting into the template now, I was hoping to actually demonstrate it during today's webinar, but it's not quite there. We'll definitely have it by next week, but the release should actually be out by next week as well. But just to give it a for instance, if I bring that into view, these are the new equates which I'm just adding, and these are the separate styles you've got. So if we just scroll down them, you can see the 2007 file included 4. The 2010 included, I think it was only 3 in that one. The 2013 actually includes 22 different styles, and the new 2016, which they've released, includes, I'm just doing the equates, so there'll be, what's that, best part of 27, 28. So you can see there's various different styles just within one particular file. So if we was to take an example of this, I'll choose OneNote Colourful, and for now, just we're in the calendar, I'm just setting it manually because obviously the template changes are, as you can see, literally in progress. But if I was to say that was 2016 and that particular style file, oh, sorry, that's not quite true. That's going to be the code. Just 1 second, let me get the actual, that's the name of the init. You'll just have to use a nice equate and it'll calculate all these for you. But if we was to look at that calendar now, we are in, oh, I don't want to be that mode. Sorry. It also needs to be a different file as well, a different setting. Sorry about this, won't be a second. You get to see just the amount of work that the templates do for you in all these calculations. That's strange, I've just had this working. As I say, it is an in progress, so sorry about this. One note cover, yes. Can't really say I understand that actually, but okay. We'll try one more test, and if not, then we'll move on. But basically, this is just giving you the idea of what's coming in the next version. Oh, it seems I've well and truly broke this. Okay, sorry about that. But basically, what it will do is, from a style point of view, make it nice and easy for you. You'll be able to say, okay, using that file, you'll have a drop down here, which will be the individual elements depending on the chosen style. So if you're going with a 2013 theme, then it will only choose the options from that particular file. If you chose Office 2016, it'll only include the options from 2016, and so on and so forth, making it a lot easier for you to select one of the predefined values. Of course, there will be a specify option where you'll be able to just overtype and basically choose your own style file should you choose your own, and it's compatible with the controls. So after a very poor demonstration of what's going to happen by next week, does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, I mean, if truth be known, can we have a quick show of hands? Did anybody actually know just how many different styles there are in each of those DLLs?
No, nobody.
No, and to be honest, when I actually cracked it open to have a look, because I normally, if I choose, say, Office 2010, I always ship with the default 2010 blue theme, and if I choose Office 2013, then I normally go with the white theme. But you just saw a minute ago, there's 20 odd different themes within each one of those later versions, and I'm not sure why it didn't demonstrate a minute ago, because I've just been testing it and they look quite good. You know, you've got the OneNote color and Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, and so on, and you've got all these themes pre-built for you, so we should really, make it easy for you to utilize them and so on. So that's one of the changes coming up. Of course, we're going to change it with our new resource template, which I'm not in a position to continue today because of the way I'm doing the other changes on the products. Unfortunately, I've had to rewind a version while we're doing this. Sorry, only on the report control. So basically, those are changes that's coming up. And John, you'll be happy to know the license is now on a button, which of course I'm not going to press now.
Don't press the button.
but it makes it so much easier. These changes will feed their way into the new resource template, and if that can, I'll try and continue on with this week. And if we can try and get that in a position to build prior to the release, then it'd be all the better. But I don't want to hold up the compatibility for version 18, not just yet. If it means I have to do 2 incremental builds, then so be it. It's not the end of the world. And that's the plan of attack I'm going with, just short term. Hence why I said about if you remember a couple of webinars ago, we started to do the changes to the actual report control template, and I've just had to go back to the previous one temporarily while we do this actual change. So that's what we're up to. Any other questions or ideas regarding? We've got one from David. Let's just open the mic up. Just 1 second. Oh, just 1 second. Sorry, I just need to mute. Hi, sorry about that. So, David, hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Andy. Sorry, but I missed the start of the webinar, and I just sort of heard you talking about version 18 templates. I was just sort of wanting some clarification on when you're actually releasing them.
Yeah, well, I was just saying then, we've done the tests. This version you're watching, you're looking at here, and if I just compile and run, this is version 18. It's reg-free com, so they're all compatible. I've happened to have screwed up the colours on this, so just ignore that a second.
Okay.
But yeah, from the compatibility point of view, the reg-free com settings, so on and so forth, they're done, tried and tested. Seeing a slight potential, I wouldn't say issue, but a question regarding the clarity of the icons in the new version 18. So whether I need to set an extra particular setting. The icon painting is different in 18 than it is in previous versions, so I just need to have a look at why.
Okay.
But you know, that looks good. And the new changes, I don't know if you saw all the new themes, which I was saying in each
No, I missed that. I came in. You were just sort of finishing that off, I think.
Yeah.
As I came in, Andy.
Well, each one of the styles, if you will, has different sections within it. Even though it's one file, like so, it's Office 2007 DLL and Office 2010 DLL. Each one of them does contain multiple different things, and these are the actual styles, including the new 2016. So you can see there's 63 different styles there, all within probably 5 or 6 files. Yeah. So I'm going to make it easier for you to select. So on the global extension, it will be a very simple case of go into this. There'll be a drop down here, so you'll have style, that will become a drop down, and the ini section, this entry here, will move down one. Okay. There'll be a specify if you wish to do that, or there'll be a predefined section with all the different settings for you, making it a lot easier for you to choose the actual style.
Great. Okay.
So that's
and when will you be sending that out, do you think, Andy?
It will be this week. It might be Friday.
Okay, all right.
It will be this week.
Yeah. Okay, just that's fine.
Yeah. No,
as long as a piece of string, it's ready when it's ready. That's fine.
Well,
as long as I know that, I can work around that. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just the only real change will be finish off the ini section, finishing off the selection thing, and making sure, obviously, that the class behind the scenes can take account of the new setting which you've just specified and paint accordingly. So, but all the equates are just going through there now, and they all come back to very similar stuff. So it sounds a lot of work. It's not. They will be out, but it might be Friday, but they will be this week.
Okay, great, brilliant. Okay, sorry to make you repeat everything again.
It's no problem. A quick recap doesn't do any harm.
Okay.
Are there any questions from anybody? Because got plenty of people, just no questions.
I have a question.
Oh, fire away.
Okay, so I've got a report control.
Mm-hmm.
In the report control, there's a scroll down method and there's a scroll up method.
Yes.
And if I call them, what I needed to do is act kind of like the clarion control when you use the up and down arrow. Like it should select the next row and fire the row selected event, I would guess. But it doesn't. It just kind of makes a little ghost row that goes up and down. So how do I make it?
Okay, if it's a standard report control, it's not
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a report control.
Just a report control. Then yeah, what it should do is just move the actual selection. the selected row.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It just is just makes kind of a you can see the bar, but the highlight doesn't move up, and it doesn't do a row selected on it.
Ah, right, I understand. So let's say you can display 10 rows visually in the screen at once, but you've got 15. You're seeing the actual content move, but not the selection change. Is that correct?
Right. The highlight stays on the row that was already selected.
Yeah, so you say it's on row 10,
Right.
which happens to be visually the bottom row, but you've got another
Right.
5 after that. If you do move down, then yes, it moves. Oh, well, move up depending on your thing. But yeah, if you move, yeah, well,
row 10 is still highlighted and active as far as I can tell.
right. Well, it's using the report control navigator command. So what I would say on that is, oh no, because it does internally it sets selected row ID, but I think that's just us taking. Yeah, that's us taking account. Ah, that sounds like it's a bug then, in that it's not actually physically moving the selection, because it's using the as we saw a second ago, the actual scroll. Oh, not that one. It's using the navigator part of the report control. So yeah, so it's moving that, and it's setting internally what's been selected, but maybe it's not. It needs an actual selection in there. I'm not sure on the report control. Let me try and open the example and see how we stand. There it is. Let's see if we're looking. Yeah, I'm going to say this has got part of the last version's template in there. You know, the resource template which we were doing. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in this example. Oh, crikey! Yeah, I'm going to struggle on this one, John. To be fair, unless
no. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be done today.
Well, I will. I'm fairly confident it is going to be that. At the end of there, it'll want select row instead of or maybe including calling the set selected row. So I think it'd be a combination of both of them. So if I will just take 1 second. We will get your example for you. Just let me kill off this. Okay. Won't be a second. Just bringing that other change in for you as we speak. Won't be a second. We'll go to that one. sure this thing definitely takes longer when we are on the webinar and recording on GoToMeeting, because it's quite a fast machine, this, but it's definitely slower. Now that will be. I've not got the control in there. That's my fault. Just 1 second. So we're on 16.4.0. Just copy the file in. Won't be a second. Trust John to come up with the very one where I'm in the middle of stuff. Every time.
Every time. It's like I know what's going on, right?
I'm sure you work.
Andy needs a challenge today, so let me ask this.
I'm sure you're working for the opposition, just trying to catch me off guard.
The opposition, exactly.
Right, let's just take a look. This should come up as version 3.61. So let's just start with that to start with. 3.61, we're on version there. That's great. And right. And if we compile, and it's got 16.4.0 in the, and I think I've just seen why that wouldn't have worked. I've just copied the actual OCX into the wrong folder, so it definitely wouldn't have worked. Let's take a quick look into there. Okay, we need to make this smaller, and then we're going to play about, and we'll call the move down. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So somewhere under here, I always go with a simple to make it nice and easy. So we'll just make this smaller to demonstrate, to emulate your particular thing. We'll put a button on here. Move down. And we'll also have a move up, just to emulate that. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a very simple case of you have the report control dot move down.
Scroll down.
Oh, scroll down, sorry.
That's it.
Okay, so we're on James Howlett, and then we go down. Oh. Okay. That's working as I would have expected, to be fair, John. So why is it different on yours?
Well, I'm using an alert key instead of a button.
Oh, let me try that.
I don't know if that'd make a difference, but I guess you could try it.
Any particular alert key? And are you doing that via the window itself? Just on the window?
That's a good question. What I'm trying to do is in the report control, it's a list that has editable text maybe. So I've got a text box next to the report control. And I want to be in the text box and then press control down arrow. So I go to the next one and just keep editing. That's the whole idea.
Okay, we'll emulate it. Yeah. So we have something like.
So I guess the alert might be in the text box.
I'd have thought so, yeah. So on that, an alert, and is it control down arrow, you say?
Yeah.
We should really add control up arrow as well. Oops.
Just want to be able to kind of rapidly go and edit stuff without taking your hands off the keyboard.
Of course. Okay, so again, we'll be on a row. The alert control down and control up isn't triggering. The embed was correct, was it not? Not that one. Yeah, in the alert key.
Yeah.
The window need immediate on, something like that, just in case. So, I've got to say it's my norm, to be fair, to put it on. Yeah, the alert's triggering. And now it's... So if I put a message, it works, but I'm not getting anything without a message. That's...
Try turning off the green bar thing, because it might be hiding what's going on. Because on mine it's just a little. I've got the row lines turned off and no green bar. So maybe try that, and maybe it is actually moving. You're just not seeing it because of the lines and stuff.
Well, the interesting thing there was when I quickly put a message in to see that the event was triggering, it actually it did actually work. Like so. That way you get him.
Yeah. See, it's yeah. That's what I'm getting. That's exactly it. I think if you took the lines out, then you would see the bar moving up and down.
Yeah.
Because the lines are kind of hiding the bar moving. Yeah.
But interesting. The very strange thing is, I might get away with putting a display in there, but on there, and it's doing it.
Well, now it's moving though, isn't it? Huh?
Okay. Not quite as I expected. I wonder if it's taking. No, it's not. That is still in focus. Wow.
That's interesting.
Why would that make such a difference? Simple answer at the moment is I don't know.
I don't know either. That's just the only thing I tried. I didn't try the buttons or anything else. To see if something else worked.
Bit of an overkill this, but let's just put it in anyway.
Okay.
No. And the code it's executing is the navigate code, which is one of the actual built-in methods from CodeJock. It has a navigator built into the actual control. Now, I bet it's to do with the key state because you're holding down control. Let's put that alert on a different key just to see it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that makes sense. Very crude, but I'll put it on, say, F5 and F6. So I think it might be the key state. Just so happens, you're using that. Okay, we'll choose that. So F5 and F6. Yeah, so it's really related to the key state. Yeah, and it's because it thinks you're in multi-select mode because the control you can hold down. So that's why.
So I might just have to pick a different key, is what it sounds like.
Well, not necessarily. Let's see if we could. I could put an optional parameter on that to say ignore key state.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, good. Okay, let's do that. Oh, it's virtual, so okay. That tells me it's going to be on all of these. Yeah, it tells me it's going to be on all of them. No great problem. We'll just put it on here like so. I'm not sure about scroll top. I'll take a quick look at your scroll top. Yep. Okay, down, page up, page down. And that one should be scroll top and scroll bottom. Just notice they're virtual and yet they're not called param. They should really be param. Okay. That's really bugging me now because normally if it's virtual, I have it so you get them called param, so that should really be param quantity. But if I change it now, it'll change potentially change break people's programs. Okay, that will give us what we're after from that point of view. And last but not least, we'll actually put the code in. And once the resource template's out, John, you'll be able to actually get to update correctly. Okay, so where's our scroll bottom is the last one, so I think that should be it. Ah, no. That's fine. So back to this. We'll put the alerts back on. So there was control up and control down. And the reason the message would have been working is I would have released the key by then, so the key state wouldn't have been interrogated.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay. No, not quite. Oof. No. Definitely missed something. 6863. Sorry about that. Yeah, of course. So we're in there, and now we go control down, and we go
nice.
control up. Okay. So just to quickly recap, should you need to mod yours before getting it, you would have to remember to do the actual the control NYS report control TPW to put the optional parameter on these, and obviously on these you want to just wrap that in the condition and the ignore keys not equal to true. If you want, I can quickly send you those files over afterwards.
Okay, I think I typed them in as you were going.
Right.
I think I'm okay. And then I'll if I miss something, I'll go back and watch the recording.
No problem. Oh, and on the recordings, I know I've got to get them uploaded. I've converted them all now. I've just got to post them up to the YouTube link and share the link accordingly. So, yes, I will. I'm on it. I converted them all today, so I am up to date, except for this one which we're on now. But they will all go up at last.
Excellent.
Okay. So we have other questions. That was David asking about the version 18 templates. And then we've got Brian, which can open the mic.
Okay.
Hi.
I've got to run, Andy, so you're on your own. You're in charge.
Okay. Oh, cheers, John. Thank you very much. And until next week.
Thank you. Excellent. Yep. Bye.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Andy.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Thank you for just looking at the question. I know last week we had talked about it, and I didn't know if you had a chance to look at it yet, or
I started to look at it. There was that, and there was another thing as well for David regarding the which was it? The docking pane, how it's added. So there was two updates which I wanted, but I'll be honest, the version 18 changes have. I wouldn't say caught us off guard, but they've taken priority because
yeah, no problem.
Compatibility release out. That's the only reason. But I'll see the docking pane one. I need to think how to do that without breaking backwards compatibility. But for yours, in that it's just a straightforward brand new part of the suite controls, then I can't see why that can't go in this same build. When the version comes out, because it's they are self-contained. I'd say it'll only be a starting point. It'll be enough for you to get queue entries in there, so you can marry it to a queue and get your content in there. But it'll be a building block, and then we could have join in one of the next webinars when you've got your hands on it, and we'll knock it around just like we just did for John here with the report control and see.
That would be great. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Okay. It's the whole point of these webinars. So I will get at least the basic premise of the drop combo from the suite controls in this next build in the 18.
Oh, that's so great.
Right,
and
the 18 compatibility build, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, even if it whatever, just don't go out of the way. I know you're really busy. I'm going to be starting. I think I told you maybe before that I'm going to be starting implementing a your calendar in our Clarion program. Currently, the old dev wrote one in .NET using like Dev Express or some type of tool for the calendar. And ours, and of course, having it in Clarion is so much quicker. It seems. So I'm going to be starting on that probably within the next week or two. But are there any webinars that you've done in the past that are concentrating on the calendar control?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that. Okay.
That's fine. I can look through them and just check it out. Yeah,
take a quick look. There's definitely some in there. We've covered, and the ones which have already been uploaded, because I haven't uploaded for a few weeks now, which is a bit naughty. But the others which are posted. There's a big discussion regarding recurring events. I don't know if you're going to offer that facility.
No, mine pretty much just reads a table and displays the already scheduled. It's for more of a dispatch tool that they're using for scheduling jobs. So none of it's really reoccurring.
Okay. Like okay. Well, I mean, yes, basically, just to give you a very, very quick heads up on from a scheduling point of view. I'm trying to find my mouse. There it is. Obviously, the calendar. Let's just open up the calendar so you can see it, and for the purpose of the recording as well. Obviously, everybody else. And regular calendar, very powerful. Excuse the colour theme. That was my testing before. Let's at least go with something which is a bit more presentable. Okay, regular calendar. You can do the contents. What file backend are you using? Is it TPS or SQL?
SQL.
Okay. Well, it's up to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You've got various different ways of getting the data into the calendar. You've got the insert event, which takes a range of parameters. And then you've got insert event from group or insert event from, oh, no, there is a queue. I'll come to that in a second. If you're going to manually call the insert events, then I would highly recommend using the insert event from group. And the reason being is, let's just say take, doesn't really matter, any of these, I suppose. I will go on with multiple schedules, okay. And let's say on this one I said it was a private and a meeting, so you get extra little icons on there and so on. Well, if you'd done the raw insert event with the host of parameters, you could have done that, give it its color, what schedule it's on, and so on. But then you would have to go and call the change event to add this and add that and add the different statuses. So your posts and the callback events which you generated, you're talking n number per event, all still very fast, but still more work than you need to do.
Okay.
If you populate the group structure, which is defined for you in the class, then you can just populate all the properties in a standard Clarion group, and then you just call insert event from group, and the class will do all the work for you. So it will do multiple calls. It's actually a bit faster because it actually does the raw settings there and then, but it will do basically all the work in one go before doing the callback event. So it is much faster.
Great.
And last but not least, in our scheduling apps, when they are built with SQL backend, then I query straight into a queue, and you can tie the calendar to a data queue. So you can say, okay, I want you to marry to a queue, and there is an example in the app. I'm trying to think if it's in here. Read from table. Not. Maybe there isn't. That's a bit of an oversight, if not. Because basically, you can just tie it straight to a queue. You point the relevant options. We just open the calendar app so you can see it. So down to a simple calendar again. And for the data source, you can say the data source is a queue, and you say what field is which particular field in your queue, and hey presto, whenever it recognizes a queue content's changed, it will repaint the calendar accordingly. So you don't have to do any calls. You just point it to the queue and then manipulate your queue as you would normally do anyway.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that is another option. We have ours on a timer. The user can define their refresh interval, from a network point of view or external talking into the calendar, the SQL really. And they might say, okay, every 30 seconds, and you'll just see the calendar refresh itself every 30 seconds. But from a programming point of view, all I've done is just issue a separate SQL command straight into the queue, and hey presto, the calendar repaints accordingly. Nice. I like that a lot. Yeah. So it does make, from a programming point of view, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. I know the one that they're previously using, he does make callbacks every, 5, 10, 15 seconds, whatever the user setting wants. So yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So that's a quick one. And from a scheduling point of view, we digress a little, but just let me open up a particular example just to give you an idea behind it. So now this is to do with scheduling. This is running, there's a calendar hidden behind this, and it's providing all the data. So these are recurring bookings and so on and so forth. There's a date picker controlling the calendar, but then the calendar's content, because the calendar's hidden, I just want it to repaint the recurring events for me and so on and so forth. Then basically,
I take there's a method called list events, and I take those events and I put them into a report control and put them into like a scheduling window, so I can say that okay, they only turned up for this amount of time that day.
Oh yeah.
So from scheduling, how big is it?
That's more what we use it for, is the resources and equipment and a couple employees, just to make sure that they're there.
Yeah. So that might just be an idea.
That's a great idea.
Example of that in the report control app. Just open that. It's called the track control. The scales are any scale you want them to be, so you can see that's hours of the day, and it could just be a straightforward numeric range and so on. And here, from a scheduling point of view, it gives a lot of power.
Yeah, it does. Great.
So just a little tip.
Yeah.
I find users' feedback has been tying the calendar from a straightforward calendar point of view. I think it's one of the best. But then when you tie it to the report control, track control from a scheduling type approach, and the results speak for themselves. The users love them.
Great. I can't wait. That's going to be a good little project.
Okie dokie.
Well, thanks again. And when do you think 18 is going to be out? Is that
18 will
December or next week? Oh wow.
Well, it'll be out this week, so we'll be discussing it next week. But it might be Friday, It might be close of day Friday. But
great.
But 18 will see 18 compatibility, that is, will see the light of day this week, because all the settings are done. It's just because I've now expanding it to let you easily get to the color styles, because Kojak have released in 18 this 2016 Office 2016 theme, and that's got 20 odd different styles within just that one file, and people aren't really making the most of it and getting the most out of their particular style files. So if I make it easier for you to select, I think a bit more people will use them, and our apps will be, they'll look really up to date because of Office 2016, which is, I'm not saying Microsoft are the be all and end all, but plenty of people use their stuff. So if we've got the option to at least, look like them, then it's a tick in the box. Should you have to prove yourself, to some kind of a purchasing manager who doesn't want to, have old technology.
Right. Certainly. So, well, thank you.
No problem. And then I think we've got another question. So it's good for the questions today, which is good. Carl. Okay, and Carl's back. So Carl, let's open the mic. Have you got a microphone? Hi, Carl.
Good morning or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're in.
It's late afternoon. We're in Nottingham, UK. Well, just north of Nottingham.
Just to kind of give you a quick overview, we're actually not a Noyantis customer yet.
Oh, that's okay.
We have a application that we use commercially here in the States and some in other countries, but mostly in the United States. And our menu is a standard Clarion menu bar with drop downs and selections. Do you have an example that I could look at of the difficulty of converting that to a Microsoft standard looking menu bar?
Of course, yeah, no problem. Well, just one quick one. This app that you can see in the background here is one of our apps. It's using all the controls. It's using a command bar, but we're having basically just in a very simple mode here. But it uses a command bar across the top for navigation. It uses the report control for displaying the lists and so on, and the track control for what you see here. We've got a calendar, and it uses the docking panes to be able to let users fold things back should they not want them, and so on, and then bring them back when they need them. So that's using a lot of the power of the actual products. But to go back to yours on how simple it is, let's open up the actual command bar example. Now, the actual command bars come in. They're all called, the actual product's called command bars, but it comes in three different styles, if you will, three different flavors. One is this is called the command bar interface, and you can see here you can have any number of bars, and on the bar you can actually have what we would consider your regular type of controls, so drop downs, spins, checkbox, so on and so forth. So you can put all those on your actual bars. That's one style. You've got a tabbed bar, which now there's a perfect example. I don't know if you guys can see this black around the icons, but this is version 18's painting of the icons, and there was never like this. So it's got to be a new setting they've introduced, which is obviously I've got off by default, so I'll find that prior to release. But this is a tabbed bar. You've got that option open to you, and then you've got the ribbon bar. So, and is it the ribbon bar you're thinking of, this type of approach?
Yeah, and probably one of the things we're looking at, kind of putting a new face on the product, but we don't want to. We've have probably 800 different screens, and so it's not going to be advantageous. I was mainly really looking to change the menu itself.
Yeah, well, that can go. This type of well, any of them actually, command bar, ribbon bar, or tabbed bar can go on the application frame and just replace your main application. That's not a problem. So now, if you have a look here, and you've got a system bar as well, which is more like the traditional, what we would consider the Clarion bar.
Right. That's what we have now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because that just looks so atrocious on the icons. I am just going to switch it to use an older version of the control because I want to see it in its best light, not its worst light. So
now, is it easy to turn off even with the ribbon bar? Is it easy to turn off on and off different menu selections?
Yes.
We sell our product with various modules enabled depending on their licensing.
Yep.
So we'd have certain pieces, and it's controlled by one of the modules that you buy and your security. So we would need high configurability to turn on and off different menu selections.
Yeah, very simple. It's literally just a method call. So say you wanted a method call to whichever the highest entity. So let's say you had none of these have got sub options, so it's probably a poor example. But if these had sub options off there, then and the whole lot was, let's say it was to do with accounts receivable, and you didn't have accounts receivable turned on their license or their user privileges, then you could just set the highest option to be disabled and or visible, depending on how you want to do it. If it's disabled, they still see it, but of course it's disabled, and if it's not visible, then it's hidden completely. I'm a big believer in, I like to disable it so they can see that things are there if they want to, purchase them and go, so the software's got the capability in there. They just you haven't got the allowance, yourself. But that's down to your implementation of the things. But yeah, it would be just a method call to one particular item. Now, what I mean by item is we'll go in with this here, so you can see that I've got a command bar with various items on there, and I've got another command bar with different items on here, all on the application frame, of course. So if we have a look at the extension, so we've said we do want it to have a system. I'll come to that in a second. But bars, we've got a system menu, which is the thing you saw across the top. Then I've got two bars. I've got a Clarion menu and a controls. Now the Clarion menu it's visible, its content, its actual content is told to read the actual settings from the Clarion menu itself. So what I mean by that is if I go to our window, there's my Clarion menu, and I can say, okay, I've got this and so on and so forth. I'm just going to put an extra option in here, and I'm going to call it Clarion Live. Clarion Live, and I'm going to give it a different icon somewhere. I insert.icon. Sure, I've got one of those lying around. Now I've added that to the actual Clarion menu. Now if we have a look, you can see it's tagged itself on the end, which is where I put it in the position on the Clarion menu, and it's read it automatically. So that bar there is actually read at runtime from the Clarion menu. The Clarion menu is not there, it's not visible, it's hidden, and technically it's actually destroyed. But before all that happened, I read its contents and basically emulated them accordingly. So
Right.
when you press that, it actually does the equivalent of going posting an event to the Clarion menu for you. So to repaint, so that bar there is told to read just the examples part. So for example, I'll add another bar and I'll tell it to read just the advanced part. So this, if you want to, I mean, you lose a bit of configurability, I'll be honest with you, by doing it this way, but it is also quite easy. So there's the Clarion menu, and it's told contents are Clarion menu, bar options, examples, and it's just one button per option. So I will have advanced bar, advanced. I want it to be take from that, and I want it to read the advanced part of the Clarion menu. Now we've got, we haven't got a bar. Did it not say advanced? It does. It is. Oh no. Okay, there isn't an advanced on there. That's added on the fly. Okay. The edit. Let's pinch the edit part of it. Sorry about that. We'll still call it that. I'm not really bothered. We'll just call it. We'll pinch the edit part of the menu. And there's our cut, copy, and paste, which was under the Clarion cut, copy, and paste under the edit part. So right. So that's very simple. You lose a lot of configurability, but that's how easy it can be. If you're worth going the extra mile, then I would say add the bar yourself, or bars, depending on what you need. So we can see here we've got controls. So I've defined a bar called controls, and it's user-defined controls on there. And I give it certain characteristics for that bar. And then you can actually go and specify what contents you want. So you can see here I've got on the controls. So let's have a look at this. On the command bar, on the controls command bar, I want to add a label. A type label, you've got loads of different types to choose from. All the different controls you can think of, and so on. For yours, you'll probably, to be fair, you'll probably just want the button and button pop-up, that type of thing. So, but you've got all the different settings on here. We can see here I've got a bold. I think that's just a bold button. So it's bold, it's a button, it's got an icon, and basically that's the ID. So if you wanted to go back to your question about enabling and disabling, it would be set control. I will tell you the actual, the raw command here while we're here. It was something along the lines of set control enabled. Yeah, set control enabled. You pass it the ID and true or false, and that would. Okay. No, sorry, not that one. That would control that control. Remember, a control could be a button pop-up, it could be a pop-up, it could be a spin, it could be markup. It supports XAML markup language. It could be any kind of control that you want. And that's really it. That's how easy it can be to add. I would, like I say, I would go the extra mile, because you get to set the various different bits of it. Like say these radios here, I've put them as part of a collection, so when you click one, it unclicks the others. But it would support you having multiples clicked at the same time if you wanted it to. It really, the flexibility comes in you defining them within the template or defining them at runtime. You don't have to define them just in the template. The template is just a matter of writing the code for you, which I know is an obvious statement, but any kind of setting this does, the template does, can be done at runtime under your own code. So that's not a problem. So let's say, hypothetically, you did need something to be disabled until they had done certain tasks, and then you wanted to enable them. That's not a problem. You can do, put your own logic in and enable and disable accordingly under your own conditions.
Okay. Fabulous. All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem. Any questions? We're here every Monday, and that's the whole point. Just jump online, ask the question, can it do? Or if it can't, can we make it do? That type of thing. Oh, and if you are going to go down the CodeJock route, don't forget we've negotiated a 30% discount with CodeJock. You need the discount code Clarion during the checkout. So if you are going to get the controls, whichever controls are suite or singular, it doesn't matter. When you first purchase them, they'll ask you for a discount code, and if you enter Clarion, I'm not sure it's case sensitive, but I'd put it in capitals just to be on the safe side. But yeah, basically Clarion, and it should give you an instant 30% discount.
Okay. Now, are there any other products that is required for either the menu or CodeJock or anything else? No.
Well, the R templates are the wrapper templates for the individual products. So, like the CodeJock command bar. Our template's called the Command Bar Wrapper template. The Calendar Pro is Calendar Pro, and so on and so forth, even down to the terribly named Report Control, which is essentially a list box. But they call it Report Control, so we call ours Report Control. But no, they are a one-for-one. So if you only wanted the Command Bar, you'd buy just their Command Bar OCX or the ActiveX Control and just our one template, Wrapper template. If you bought their suite, I'd recommend buying our suite, and so on and so forth. They're a one-for-one.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much.
No problem. Nice speaking with you. Okay, do we have where are we? Any other questions? We've got a little over 20 minutes left. If anyone's got any ideas or feedback.
I've got one quick question, Andy.
Yes, of course.
I don't know whether you can answer it off the top of your head. In the report control in XAML, is it possible to play a video in the XAML?
In XAML? Ooh.
I saw something somewhere where it can be done in WinForms, but I didn't know whether that was going to be possible inside the report control. You remember what I was showing you a few weeks ago, where I was showing just the
with images? The cars, yeah.
Yes. I was wondering if the same sort of possibility existed for me to do something very similar, but with video files, and have the video files actually like a thumbnail size and play inside the report control.
Wow. I don't know is the answer off that, to be honest. Well, I mean, officially, if you can do it in markup, then yes, should be the answer. But CodeJock they don't fully support all of the elements of XAML. And of course, right. Dave Bratovich is definitely the man who can, he knows his stuff in his sleep. He is the XAML king. But yeah, they don't necessarily support all. If you could get a piece of XAML code with a video, I'm happy to try it here. Give it a run out on one of the actual webinars in the finger. I don't know the code off the top of my head for XAML for videos anyway.
Right. I saw something. I was just doing something a few days ago, and I saw something that actually did that in XAML, and I marked it somewhere. I think I've still got it bookmarked, so I'll try and figure that out and maybe bring it along next week, and we can have a quick look at it.
Try to figure out where's mine. XAML. There you go.
Yeah.
Does this? What was that? Oh, yes, it's a new profile. I'm just wondering if they're snippets. This in CodeJock, obviously, this is a third party. control.
Yeah, I've got a copy of this, but I haven't really. I've used it a little bit, but not a lot yet.
I've used it a little, but basically just taking the hello world. Oh, not there. Sorry. Taking the hello world and manipulating to what I want, that type of thing. But animation. You see, they've got some animation. Let me just undo that.
Yeah, I saw a webinar that Dave did some time ago, and he had some animations inside.
Yeah.
There's one where you weren't there. Yes, I saw that one. Yes, with these little balls moving around.
Actually, no, Dave has done something with animation, but I don't know if it was where he had video. But yes, he did show me. It was, I think it was a Star Wars thing, actually, if memory serves. But I don't know if there's an external video.
Oh, now that you've mentioned that, I'm sure he actually sent me a link to something about Star Wars.
Yeah,
a while ago.
He has done some Tamil.
When I was very first getting started with
in a report control as well.
Stuff, yeah.
So, because he can.
Okay, I'll go back to my Skype and find out, because he sent it to me by Skype, so I probably got it in my Skype chat somewhere. So, okay, yep, that'll be a starting point for me. Thanks, Andy.
No problem. Well, if there's no other questions, and oh, David, hang on a second, have I missed one? David. Ah, yes. Hi, David.
Hey, Andy.
Hi. Yeah, I was just saying earlier, I don't know if you missed it, the version 18 has basically jumped up the pecking list, if you will, the version 18 compatibility, because I did promise I'd get the both the combo box and at least the ability to add the docking pane extension manually. But the version 18 and the colour changes, the theme changes, which I'm discussing, I've jumped up the queue. So I want to get them out. I might be able to get that combo box in. Well, we'll get the combo box into version into the new release. But I'm still trying to think on how to actually tackle yours. It's a very simple thing to do, but make sure we don't break, everything what's out there. So I'm still looking at that. So if you can just leave that with us, and we'll report back next week. It's about the best I can say.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
that. Because that guy, that's more of like, enabling it on all the. So I wouldn't think it would break anything, right? Everybody that has it installed would already be installed or already be.
Well, the thing is, if I've got this right, when you add it, currently you add the global and it adds the content manager to every windowed procedure in that particular app. Whereas we don't want it to. We don't want it to put anything on there at all. And then you go and manually add. Now,
that's right.
Knocking the template around to just let you manually add is really simple. It's probably half an hour including testing. So that's nice and simple because the code's written. Is it just a case of, well, you see, if I stop the other one from being automatically added, then you do potentially go through and break everybody else's product.
Well, wouldn't theirs already be there, from the prior?
Well, no. If you take off the thing, I'd have to try it. But if I took off the code which automatically populated, which is a thing of Clarion, a facility of Clarion template language, if I take that off, then I think it'll automatically take the extension off all of the ones where you are actually using it.
How about if you just made it an option to do it? To say automatic or manual and leave automatic on or something.
Can you do that via? I don't. You see, on that template, I'd have to have a look. That's down to Clarion template capability, to be honest, because it's only on the actual template itself. Where are we? Docking pane template. So you can see here we've got there's the global, and then here on the extension, the content manager. Just by putting that one command means that it goes and procedure. Yeah, I think it's a procedure. Then basically that automatically gets added to everything what's got the that that's got a window, and I control it by the window A, restrict where window. Now, I might be able to restrict where window and a global setting as well, just like you've just said.
I got you.
But it's just approving of that. It might be I'm worrying over something, and when I get stuck into it, it works just like that. An option on the global and say automatic or manual. Automatic by default keeps it backwards compatible, and manual obviously doesn't do, which is what we're after. It might be a very simple, and if it is, it will go in this build as well. That's not a problem. It's just a matter of proving it really. And it's easy to prove. Even the example app has what I want in there. So it will be an easy enough prove. It's just, version 18 of CodeJock kind of jumped up the queue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine, because that was going to be the other question I was going to ask anyway, because I saw the 18 came out too. So it was going to be, when are we going to be compatible with the 18? So.
Yeah, well, I could have done it without the colours and they would have all been released today. That's not a problem. They passed the testing. Don't like the icons, and that came about in the testing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As for generating the reg-free stuff, all that's what you've just seen. It's all working. It's all pretty good. So it's just a matter of finishing them theme settings, so people really are making the most out of them.
Did they make that many changes between? I mean, or like the release notes? Was there anything?
No, the release note said 2016, Office 2016 released, but even the CodeJock help doesn't tell you. I mean, these are the actual things. If we bring this into play here, and you can see they're the actual different ini sections within each of the controls, within each of the theme DLLs. So there's quite a few in the 2016, which I think, what people make use of. But even the CodeJock help doesn't include them. I actually cracked it open with a hex editor and went through and found them myself. So yeah. And that's why I don't think people are making use of them. So if, the whole point of the template is to make it nice and easy. So that's what we'll do. We'll have it as a nice, easy drop-down selection for you. And then people can start, making your app look like, Publisher Colourful or OneNote. I tried the OneNote actually. It did look quite alright, quite pleasing.
Very good. So, are they changing anything? Like there's one little thing we noticed, like on the task panels. If the task panel is longer than than fits, then it has the black. It turns that little scroll bar to black. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh.
Let's try that. Because we can soon mod our example to emulate that. I'm trying to say no. Actually, I'm trying. Has this been mentioned already? Because I think we've done something on this. Let me just take a quick look.
Okay.
This is version 18, which it'll run.
Oh, okay. That's what we got on here. Okay.
Okay, so.
Yeah, yours isn't there, huh? It scrolls down.
Yeah, why would that be? Would that previously be flat there?
Yeah, it turns, but as soon as it gets longer than the, and the scroll bar appears, then mine turns black. The little scroll bar turns black.
I'm just trying to think what of our main applications, and we've got massive task panels on the left because we use it for per center view or patient center or an appointment center, and they've got loads of options. And depending on the screen resolution, 99% of the time it's probably they are larger than what is displayable. That's still using version 15.3.1, believe it or not. Not my decision, by the way. But yes, basically that's fine. So I'm not sure why you should have got that. Definitely worth. We'll have a look at the manifest settings on your app and so on and so forth. But you shouldn't be getting that anyway.
Yeah, they seem to work. Fine. It's just that those, as soon as I have a couple, that can expand and contract.
Right.
And so when you contract them, as soon as it makes it longer and the scroll bar shows up, that's when the little black color was there. And I thought that was something that I'd mentioned quite a while back, but it was something to do with the CodeJock, I thought, and that they had never fixed it, and I just kind of got used to living with it. But
right, no, well, wait till you get the next build.
So.
But try it on the next build and report back.
Okay.
We'll hook up and we'll have a look.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
I'll look forward to the 18. That's cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I think we're out of questions. I think we've covered quite a bit today, so that's quite good. Thank you all for attending, as always. It means a lot.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So until next week then.
See you then.
Okay. Cheers. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Andy.
Oh, I'm trying to end it. It's not letting me. Here we go. There we go.
No, we don't want to go. Yeah.
Because if even go to meeting won't let me go then. Okay. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.